What happened at the BMW Championship that left pro golfer Matt Fitzpatrick fuming at a tournament over what he called an outrageous rules decision? We'll get into why he was not allowed to change his equipment and the real reason behind this incident that sent shockwaves through the golfing world. You'll be surprised by what we found. Our team scoured the latest reports from Bunkered, Golf Digest, and Golf Rex, combining their insights with our own thorough research to bring you this exclusive. Let me first give you a little backstory on how the day started at the BMW Championship. It was a beautiful morning at Castle Pines Golf Club, the second round of the BMW Championship. For Matt Fitzpatrick, the day started with optimism. Coming off a solid first round, the 28-year-old Englishman was feeling confident and ready to make a strong push on this challenging course. Matt arrived at the course early, going through his usual routine. He headed to the practice range, working through his swing mechanics with focus and precision. The air was crisp, and the course was playing firm, with Castle Pines' elevation and tricky greens posing a formidable test for even the best players. Matt was dialed in. His warm-up session was flawless, with iron shots landing crisply on the range targets, and his short game looking sharp. Castle Pines is known for its tight fairways and undulating greens, but Fitzpatrick's game seemed well suited to handle the test ahead. Before heading to the first tee, Matt spent some time with his caddy, going over strategy. They knew it was going to be a challenging day. Castle Pines isn't forgiving, but Fitzpatrick, who thrives in pressure situations, looked calm and composed. As Matt stepped onto the first tee, the atmosphere was electric. The crowd was rooting for him. Many fans had followed his rise in the ranks, especially after his US Open win. Fitzpatrick's confidence was high as he eyed the fairway ahead. The first few holes went smoothly. His tee shots were accurate, his approach shots precise, and his putter was working its magic. He was staying focused, moving up the leaderboard, and keeping pace with the tournament's elite. As he was preparing for his next shot, he realized that one of his clubs had been damaged. Now, if you're familiar with golf rules, you know that damaged equipment can be replaced under certain conditions, right? But in Matt's case, the ruling went against him, and it left him absolutely furious. So what exactly was the ruling? According to the officials, Matt wasn't allowed to change his damaged club because it had been altered outside the normal course of play, meaning it wasn't damaged due to regular gameplay like hitting the ground or striking a ball, but for other reasons. Fitzpatrick, understandably, felt this was an outrageous decision, especially given the circumstances. He argued that the damage was accidental and outside of his control, but the Rules Committee stood firm. "This is outrageous. It's an absolute disgrace," Fitzpatrick says. After noticing a crack in the center of his driver's face, Fitzpatrick requested a ruling on the 8th tee. A cracked club is not replaceable, according to Model Local Rule G9 of the Rules of Golf of the United States Golf Association. Fitzpatrick was unable to replace the club because there was insufficient damage, according to a PGA Tour Rules official. According to him, it has to be significant, surely, Fitzpatrick said. "They made the rule, so it had to be folding in on its own," the first rules official said. "Terrible rule," Kevin Kisner said on NBC. "This is a no-brainer." While on the walkie-talkie with a coworker, the rules official made note of the crack, saying that he could see it and feel it with his fingertip. "Not enough, in my opinion, looking at it to justify that," he said. "I can feel it with my nail, about a half-an-inch crack right in the center of the face." Damages caused by Fitzpatrick are not covered by the mentioned local rule. An additional officer from the Rules Department refused to let Fitzpatrick use any of the two drivers in his locker, citing an incident with Seung-Yul No as an example. "There's an obvious crack there that is causing a defect to the ball flight," says Fitzpatrick. "We have said no to something worse than this," says the rules official, who took the club to chief referee Stephen Cox. "So I'm going to have to use 3-wood for the rest of the day." "That's what you're telling me," Fitzpatrick furiously said. "This is outrageous. It's an absolute disgrace. I've literally just watched a ball do a completely different thing from the whole morning. It couldn't be more obvious." His last statement was, I understand the rule, but at the end of the day, it's your opinion. It's opinion, not fact. At the end of his heated protest, Fitzpatrick promised to make sure something is done after the round because it's a joke. He made a daring move by disassembling his driver's head on the 9th tee, leaving him with only 13 clubs by the end of the round. This isn't the first time a golfer has been caught in the web of strict regulations. Golf, as we all know, has some of the most complex and rigid rules in sports. But moments like this beg the question, are they too strict? Should players have more flexibility, especially in critical moments? Fans and analysts alike rallied behind Matt, calling the ruling harsh and unfair. Many took to social media to express their support, with some even calling for a change in the rules. Other top golfers like Rory McIlroy and Dustin Johnson have faced similar frustrations with rulings that changed the trajectory of their tournaments. And now, Matt Fitzpatrick has joined the list of players who've suffered from controversial decisions. So what was the real reason why Fitzpatrick's request to change out his driver was denied? Stephen Cox explained in great detail why Fitzpatrick could not have his driver changed. According to him, we on the PGA Tour, very similar to other major golf tours around the world, have a slightly stricter guideline in terms of when a player is permitted to take a damaged club out of play, and that club needs to be significantly damaged, he said. In our assessment, not only with the first official, but also a couple of others, including myself, that threshold of being significantly damaged hadn't been significantly met. Although there was a small crack in the face, there was no separation in the metals, and on that basis, that threshold wasn't met. So his only choice in that case was to continue using that club. Now, if that club were to get worse, then we would obviously continue to reassess, and at that point, he may have been able to have taken it out, but in his case, I think he chose not to continue to use it and proceeded with his 3-wood from then on. He added, under the rules of golf, specifically Rule 4.1, a player is only allowed to replace a damaged club if the damage occurs during the course of play through regular golfing activities, such as hitting a ball or incidental contact. However, if the damage happens for another reason, such as frustration or mishandling, it is not permissible to replace the club. In Fitzpatrick's case, the ruling suggested that the damage to his driver didn't occur during the actual hitting of a golf shot, but through some other cause, thus making it ineligible for replacement. This strict interpretation left Fitzpatrick frustrated, as he believed the damage was accidental and warranted a replacement. The officials, however, stood by the decision, causing controversy and sparking a debate over the rigidity of the rules. So how did the game end? As the tournament progressed, things took a turn for Matt Fitzpatrick. After a strong start, disaster struck when a controversial ruling left him fuming. A damaged club that Fitzpatrick hoped to replace was not allowed under tournament rules, throwing off his rhythm. Despite his protests and disbelief over what he called an outrageous decision, the ruling stood. This left Matt with no choice but to continue playing with equipment that wasn't ideal. His frustration was clear as he attempted to regain his composure. Even with the setback, Matt fought hard through the final stretch. His competitive spirit was on full display as he sank a clutch birdie on the 17th, keeping his chances alive. But the damage had been done. His momentum was disrupted, and despite his best efforts, the ruling had cost him valuable strokes. On the final hole, a missed putt sealed his fate. Matt finished the tournament just shy of the leaders, his hopes of winning the BMW Championship dashed by what many consider an unfair rules decision. While his performance was still impressive, the controversy overshadowed what could have been a much better result. With his immense talent and fierce dedication, there's no doubt that Matt will continue to rise in the ranks of professional golf. We hope you like this video. If you want more of these contents, be sure to subscribe to be ahead of golf.